We'll abide by our commitment to human rights and democratic values.
It's not ethnic cleansing. Muslims have been targeted, but also Buddhists have been subjected to violence. But there's fear on both sides, and this is what is leading to all these troubles. And we would like the world to understand that the reaction of the Buddhists is also based on fear. Because prejudice is not removed easily, and hatred is not going to be removed easily, but we can work at it together. And I'm confident that the great majority of the people of this country want peace.
तो हम म्यांमार से फिर इंडिया पे आकर यहाँ नई दिल्ली में फिर शाहीनबाग सरम विहार में हम लोग कैंप बना कर रहे हैं।
बर्मा से तो हम इंडिया आए थे, हमारा साथ बहुत अच्छे से बर्ताव किया, बिठाया, खाना खिलाया, इज्जत दिया, हमें सब कुछ करा। इतनी इज्जत हमें कहीं पर तो मिला ही नहीं इंडिया में।
हमारे पास ना आइडेंटिटी है, ना आधार कार्ड है, ना पैन कार्ड है, ना उसके नेशनलिटी है, कुछ भी नहीं है और कहीं जाने का कोई मौका भी नहीं।
The world's largest refugee camp in southern Bangladesh, fear is rife. 2 years ago, the government welcomed the influx of Rohingya fleeing Myanmar. Today, it is planning to send tens of thousands of them to an island in an area prone to cyclones. No Western journalists have been granted access to the island until now. DW was taken to Bazan Char by Bangladesh's Navy, which is overseeing the construction works. Throughout our stay, we were accompanied by naval.
We will never stop. Nobody will be evacuated from this island.
That is because the Navy says they have built sufficient protection against floods and erosion, including a 3-metre-high embankment. Inside, there is space for 100,000 Rohingyas housed in clusters of identical shelters. Human rights organisations fear that refugees may be contained on the remote island for years.
From what we've seen, conditions here do seem to be better than in Cox's.
Bazan Char didn't exist 20 years ago. Islands in the Bay of Bengal are formed by sediments and make up an ever-changing ecosystem. But the government seems adamant to relocate Rohingya to the island.
We may force them to go there. We don't have enough space here, so we will force them. If they are not willing...
What is the most extreme step you could take if the UN disagrees? Would you kick the UN agencies out of Bangladesh?
We'll do. If that is necessary, we'll do.
So to be clear, if they don't support your plan of Bazan Char, you will tell them to leave?
We have to make a decision and we'll talk to them.